Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Bento Boxcast. This is episode 21, Rafa. We made it. We're here at 21.
Yes, sir. Old enough to drink, baby. Yeah.
We are the most animeist podcast of all the internet. Literally all of it. You won't find a podcast more animeist than us. Trust in that.
Trust the method. I don't know what I was going to say. Yeah, what Hector said.
Like always, guys, I am Hector, but of course, that's not, you know what? I don't even want to talk about me. I want to talk about the main guy, the piece de resistance. Ooh. Right? You know what I'm saying? The cutest guy I know, my co-host, Rafa.
Thank you. Oh my God, you flatter me. You say too many good things about me.
Well, you know what else is a good thing, Rafa? We're here coming at all of you guys listening on whatever audio platform you may so choose. We got you covered on Spotify. We got you covered on Apple Podcasts, or really any other platform associated with Anchor.com. But of course, you'll find us here at our mainstay, at our main home, at our home base, at our main girl, YouTube.com. All you got to do is just look us up by putting in Bento Boxcast in the search bar, and you'll see our absolutely iconic logo. But here's the thing, guys. In every episode, right? Yes, sir. In every episode, you, the viewers, have a chance to add some topics, suggest some talking points to us to discuss. And the only way to have that happen, guys, is if you tweet at us at the Bento Boxcast or to our personal Twitters at UltraVman, which is mine, and Me Talk Anime, which is Rafa's. Or you can join our Discord. Wow. The link to everything will be in the description down below. But also don't forget, another way to definitely get your suggestions out there is by commenting on the last/latest episode of the Bento Boxcast. But like I said, guys, everything is going to be linked down below. So feel free to chat with us and get involved in our community.
Yeah.
Whoa. Very, very excited about that. But you know what, Rafa? I want to do something a little different. I want to do this from the top, the very tippity top of the show, because I recently watched the newest video of the Yaiba Boys, and coincidentally, you're a part of them.
Yes, I am.
Ooh. Now,
I'm one of the boys.
Now, the last episode I thought was actually really funny. It was the one where you guys are playing the stick figure guys. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, definitely just look them up at Geekchart 3000 on YouTube, on Spotify, on Twitter. And just to even make this even better, they actually have a podcast as well. It's called The Playing Pod with Alex, John, and Rafa, and it is absolutely fantastic. You can find that on any of the Anchor platform as well, and on YouTube. So definitely check those guys out. They have a fantastic podcast, and it's all about video games, pop culture, and anything crazy like that, except anime, because we got that here. We got that on lock.
Because there we got that anime on lock down here, man. Everything else, they got it. But including myself. So you guys want to hear three best friends talk about a bunch of dumb stuff? Go check it out, man. We have a good time over there.
That is facts, no cap there. Whew. All right, man. I kind of got winded off of just going off on that. But you know what the crazy part is normally we have the part, like I said, where we have the comments and viewer topics. And this one's kind of very special because a lot of the comments and viewer topics were brought to us by our S tier, S++ viewer. Now, if you guys are new, then you guys don't know. But let me put y'all on because this is the truth. We have one absolute legend in the community, guys, and he has been there since pretty much day one of the podcast. Right. I want to give a huge shout out to the boy Josue, to our boy Jay, who be commenting, who be sharing, who be adding us, who be doing all these things, like I said, on Twitter, on Facebook, which is because he's a personal friend of mine, and then he's also in the comments down below and things like that. So he sent us a few things to talk about, but actually, on the topic, and while I have it fresh in my mind, I absolutely want to just say thank you so much for quite literally all the love. We've been getting, Rafa, so much love, and I know me and you have been talking about it back and forth because we see it going crazy. We were so ecstatic. We were so happy about episode 19 getting these crazy numbers. We hit over 100 views on episode 19.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened, Rafa, but episode 20 came out and y'all just knocked it out the park, man. You guys just said, you know what? Those are baby numbers. We're going to get you to 250, 250 plus. And
Nice.
I could not believe it, man. Like, episode 20 got so much love and I was like, oh, okay, it's a regular video. It's kind of getting there. We had like 4 views, what's or not, but then I don't know where you guys just said, nah, we're gonna wait on it, we're gonna surprise y'all, and then bam, 250 out of nowhere in 2 days, and it just keeps growing. So thank you guys so much, absolutely, from all the love and all the new viewers that are listening. I know we got a few people that did subscribe, and shout out to y'all. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing if you guys have shared it. Don't forget to do that. But of course, we just love all the love, of course, that you guys are sending our way, and to all the new listeners that we have. We hopefully one day, if you stick with us and kind of continue listening to the podcast, we hope that we make that viewer, you, a special person, become part of the community, and then subscribe and all that stuff. So thank you again so very, very much. But that's enough from me thanking you. Rafa, if you have any thanks, this is your time to shine, brother.
Oh man, what can I say? What can I say? What can I say? I woke up, I was like, man, I'm feeling sad today. I'm feeling pretty bummed out. You know, I was just like, oh, had a little tear going down my eye, not feeling all that well. Next thing you know, I look at my phone. I look at that viewer count and say, oh my goodness, what is this? And like magic, like flipping a coin, like turning over a new leaf. I was happy. I was ecstatic. It's like my whole day changed. You know what I'm saying? I was sad one minute, next minute I was happy because of all the love we're getting, all the views. And it's not because I'm bipolar, Hector. Don't say I'm bipolar, okay? Right? It's just I'm just so happy that that everybody's out there giving us that chance, listening in, checking us out. It's awesome to see. It's awesome to see people who, they're liking the videos, man. They're enjoying the stuff we're doing. They're subscribing. They're sharing all that stuff you just said right now, man. It's really awesome to see you guys are supporting the podcast, man. Because it's just me and Hector, goofing around talking about anime, and it's awesome to see that that there are people out there who are also enjoying the conversation that we're having here. Can't wait to see who else joins, who else listens in and things like that, man. And shout out to all the new listeners, and also of course shout out to everybody who's been there from the beginning, like Jay and stuff like that, man. It's just really cool to see that people are giving a chance, listening. The community is growing, right? So it's really cool to see that. And of course, if you guys really enjoy what you see here, if you guys really enjoy what you listen here, on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets us know that you guys are enjoying it. You're giving us that feedback, saying, "Okay, cool. Like these guys are enjoying what we're doing here. Let's keep bringing that enjoyment to them." And of course, and if you guys truly enjoy it, subscribe and let us know in the comments and all that stuff. Because we always give you guys little shout outs, man. Like the reason we give Jay so much love because like he's always in the comments. Like Hector said, he's always hitting us up and on Twitter and all that stuff. So I have a lot of love in my heart, Hector. I have a big old heart full of love and cholesterol, and I'm willing to give it all out. Well, not the cholesterol, we can't do that, but I'm willing to give out all the love in my heart to all of y'all listeners out there. So just hit us up. Let us know what you guys think, what you guys watching, all that stuff, man. I want to talk to y'all. I want to communicate with y'all. I only talk to Hector, and Hector gets tired of me. And Hector, oh Hector, you seen this? Hector, you seen this? Hector's like, shut up, man. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, Hector. So I want to talk to some of y'all, so I can leave Hector alone for a day or two. So, no, yeah, just thanks, guys. It's really great to see, man. It's seriously like not jokes aside, it puts a smile on my face seeing that people are really, really liking what we're doing here, man. It's really cool to see. So hopefully it just keeps going from here, Hopefully more people join and enjoy what stuff we do. And speaking of joining, we have a Discord. Join that, get that. Let's get that growing too, you know. Let's get people in there too. We have a few people in there already, but let's get more people in that Discord, man. Let's really get that popping off too.
Yes, definitely. And actually, I'm super happy you brought up Discord because I wanted to give a special shout out because we said we were going to do it. And recently we had someone brand new join the Discord, and literally just a few days ago. So shout out to Evil She Wrote. We see you. Thank you for joining. I know the Discord can have a little bit more interactions and things like that, but we're trying there. We're gonna get there. We want to get the community going. So trust me, we'll find some love there.
Shout out to Evil She Wrote, man. He came in. He didn't say hi. He or she, I don't know. I don't know, their connotation, but they didn't say anything to nobody. Went straight to the naughty section on the Discord and said, "Yo, check out these anime titties. This is my type of guy right here. I can already tell Hector. This person, Evil She Wrote, is my new best friend. Another one on the list. Oof. I can't wait."
Okay, we love to hear that.
Came in hot, bro. He said, "Check this out, y'all." Anime titties. I was like, you know what? This guy right here.
Nice.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy right here.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, it was definitely a wild time. I remember you telling me about that. You're like, dude, you didn't say a goddamn thing. You just said straight to the not safe for work area, and then bam, what up, gang?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he had a goal. He had a mission. He went and completed it. Shout out to him for that one.
But yeah, guys, like I said, on the topic of just viewers and thanking you guys and all that, Josue J did kind of drop some knowledge on us and kind of gave us some stuff to talk about, which is actually a great way to get in, because guess what, Rafa? We are actually perfectly on time. It is 10:30 p.m., Rafa. It is time to get in it and get it cracking, because we are here to the news segment, everybody. Welcome with our correspondents today, myself, Hector, and Rafa. I want to talk about this one right off rip, because I think it's probably, out of the articles that I have, I won't say this is like the biggest anime related, but it has some hints of anime. So for those of you that are in the tech, that are in the video game world, you guys know a little something about the GeForce 3090 graphics card that have been coming out. Not necessarily just GeForce. Yeah, so it's like these graphics cards that get placed into computers, right? So that the quality and the graphics, right, the GPU of the computer work properly, and you can play some high quality games. Like 3090 is the cream of the crop of these GPUs. Now the crazy thing is these are brand new, so they're very, very expensive. But recently Asus showcased a brand new GeForce RTX 3090 ROG Strix Gundam Edition. And that's where the anime kind of plays into it, guys. There is a new GeForce limited edition, so there's not a ton of these, 3090 graphics card that is, themed after Gundam. Now, these are, like I said, are pretty pricey. This one, actually, funny enough, is priced at a US dollar amount of $1,799.
Wow.
So that bad boy is expensive. You can buy a top-notch computer with that much money.
How much is a regular one?
So it's around $1,000. So it actually says that you will be paying up to $750 to $800 more for this limited edition product. So you're literally paying almost double. Yeah, so it's insane. But I mean, if you do look it up, it does look pretty insane. It has some crazy cool coloring. It's all white instead of the usual all black. And it's pretty sick. Like, it looks really, really cool. It does not have any, at least I don't think so, but it doesn't have any RGB lighting. So it's really, you're paying for the coolness factor of it being a limited edition thing. I'm sure.
How many? Do they say how many they made?
No, it doesn't say how many were made. It says there's a limited quantity of it. It doesn't give like an exact numerical number for how many were made.
Right.
But yeah, it just says it's limited quantity. So it's like I said, it's kind of cool. It means I honestly kind of see this more as like a flipping type thing. Like you buy it at that price and then kind of sell it for double that price or triple that price. For
it's
people
like a
who really
collector's
want it.
item.
Yeah, it's literally a collector's item. So I don't know. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it's like almost $2,000. So
well, I don't have money. I don't even have a computer, Hector. I have a motherboard and a box because I was gonna build a computer and never did.
Mm-hmm.
That's as far as my computer goes. But I know you have a really nice computer. And callback, I know you bought that big old statue of Rin from I forgot the name of the
ReZero.
anime from ReZero that cost it like $3,000, some crazy ass
So
amount.
clearly,
So, so I know your money bag, yo. Your young boy never broke. So I already know. I got listeners. I can already see. I can picture it in my mind. Hector's already on the website right now, putting it in the shopping cart. He's about to buy the capture cards or whatever the hell they're called. GX ABC 7 5000, the long ass name you gave.
ABC7. Oh my
Whatever long
god.
name you gave, you threw a bunch of numbers and digits out. You're gonna buy at least three of them. I can already tell Hector. I can. You guys, I'm telling you, Hector, he burns money. That's how much money he has. He's so bored he burns money. I can already tell Hector's gonna buy at least five of these.
Guys, please. That's cap. But I mean, hey, I wish. I really wish. But no, I mean, like this is like really really cool. It's kind of crazy to me to see a already expensive, GPU kind of skyrocket in price to nearly double just because of a,
The
cool anime edition.
licensing,
Yeah.
yeah,
But still, I mean, if you guys, any of the listeners, actually buy this, please put it in the comments down below because I would love to know if anybody, either watches it or that we know or don't know does buy it. Now you could be saucing it up and maybe be saying, "Oh yeah, of course I got one, man." And if that's the case, then you truly are young boy or girl, never broke. So shout out to you. But
yeah. Then you guys could like talk about how much you guys love it.
facts,
Tell you,
yeah.
tell you how much you love yours and how much they love theirs. 'Cause, you're also a young boy never broke.
But yeah, so moving on to the next article that we have here. It's kind of cool. It's something actually we talked about. Also, like you said, a callback. It's Netflix is gonna begin streaming the second season of Wit Studios' Great Pretender anime outside of Japan. So Japan has already seen this, but on November 25th, season 2 is gonna start coming out, which is titled Case 4 and consists of episodes 15 through 23.
Hey, it's like yeah, about a month from now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally a month from now.
Nice. Look at that.
So, Case 4 is actually titled Wizard of Far East. It takes place in Shanghai and Tokyo. The story features the Suzaku Association, a group engaged in child trafficking, and Laurent's past. The anime's cases 1 through 3 were released on September 21st. So, of course, now we're waiting for Case 4. And honestly, like I said, we had talked about this before, and I mean, dude, like this show is really, really good. It's honestly one of my top favorites of this, the year in general of animes that
Yeah.
came out. I can't say, wholeheartedly that I've caught up all the way. I think I'm actually at case. I've finished with case 2, so I need case 3, to finish. Actually, no, sorry. Yeah. No, I'm right. Yeah, I finished case 2. I'm at case 3. That's as far as I got with that show, but I really do love it. Like it's a really really good show. Kind of caught myself and Rafa, by surprise. We didn't think it was going to be that good, but yeah, I mean it's stellar. It's a really great anime.
Yeah. It's for sure in my top five anime of the year. And I could even argue top five in most recent anime, like in modern times, in the past, few years. It's a really good anime. I'm kind of in the same ballpark with you. I have not finished the whole first season. I'm still behind a few episodes, things like that. But knowing that there's going to be a second season coming out here soon, well, within a month for us, it gives me more reason to finally catch up and kind of see where things are with these guys because it's the show itself doesn't. I want to say it doesn't. It plays with some pretty I don't say serious topics, but like real world topics, right? Like the first was that to do with the drug dealers and stuff like that. And now you're saying with the case 4 it has to do with child trafficking things like that. So it's like, well, what kind of shenanigans they're gonna get themselves into? It's a really really good show. If you guys have not seen it, if you guys have not given the show a chance, go ahead and do it. It is on Netflix, like we said, so it's super easy to access because everybody has Netflix, right? And it's in all the languages, right? It's in Japanese. It's in English. I'm gonna assume it's in Spanish, even if you want to put it in Spanish or whatever language you speak of. So whatever preference you want it's there for you guys. So highly recommend this anime. Go check it out. Get caught up. I know I will by the time season 2 comes around.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I also do need to make sure to catch up with it because I do want to watch it. Now I have two more articles. Some are actually really, really cool. So this one right here is Toonami is set to premiere Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld Part 2 anime on November 7th. So that's actually kind of crazy because the English trailer streamed for the anime's final season and all this stuff. And actually, the Twitter account for Aniplex of America and the official Facebook account for Adult Swim Toonami, both released this. And it's really, really cool because it kind of harkens back to, at least to me, right, to the old times in Toonami where, you would get like these cool, really like late night animes that kind of show up. Because if my memory serves me right, Toonami used to come out like way late in the night. When like Cartoon Network's regular shows were kind of finished streaming for the day, so like it would come out towards the end of the night, and you would see like the Naruto, you would see like I think Cowboy Bebop was on Toonami. I could be wrong. Yeah, okay.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so like all these fantastic classic animes would show up on there, and it's kind of crazy that obviously Toonami kind of came back. I want to say like maybe a year or two ago, right?
I think it's been around longer than that.
Really? Well, okay, Toonami's kind of, in my eyes, it could be different for everybody else, but kind of came back to its true form and a classic source for anime for people who aren't exactly in the anime world like that, or are just dipping their toes in. But actually, what's cool is the full lineup for November 7th includes, because it's actually a part of the article. So at 12 a.m. So that's midnight. It's going to be showing Dragon Ball Super. 12:30 a.m. is going to be showing the Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld Part 2. 1 a.m. Fire Force Season 2. 1:30 a.m. Assassination Classroom. 2 a.m. Gemuseto Death Beats. 2:30 a.m. Naruto Shippuden. Super classic. I'd love to see that. And then at 3 a.m. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. So, some crazy, crazy stuff. I mean, it's really cool to see that this stuff that's usually streamed on Crunchyroll, Hulu, Funimation, and all that stuff is kind of starting to premiere with English dub on Adult Swim, which the English dub is actually going to, it says here, is going to start premiering on Adult Swim Toonami on February 2019. So, well, actually, wait, no, my bad. The anime premiered with the English dub on Adult Swim's Toonami block in February 2019. So it's going to start showing, more stuff, more current stuff, and I actually really like that. It's really, really cool. I know, Rafa, you used to watch Toonami, and you've kind of brought it up that was kind of one of the stepping stones for you to get into anime like that. So I mean, I don't remember all the animes that were shown back then, but you might actually.
Yeah, man, Toonami is one of the main reasons why I started getting into anime. When I first saw Naruto, it was through Toonami, which Naruto was one of the first anime that I ever seen that I knew what anime was. But Fooly Cooly was on there, Yasha was on there, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, like all these like classic anime that I always bring up, that I always talk about. I first saw them through Toonami, and actually though, I was just looking up right now, Hector, the whole relaunch with Toonami being part of Adult Swim was actually started back in 2012. So look at that.
Right. So we're late.
A long time ago. Yeah. So like, I guess for you, it's really cool to see. I kind of get what you're saying. The whole thing, like, oh, Toonami's kind of doing this. It kind of feels like they're going back to like more action anime, even though they've always kind of shown action anime.
Yeah.
But they've also shown things like man, I'm forgetting the name of Pop Team Epic, which is a show that I talked about before. Space Dandy, which is like a space opera type show and stuff like that. Of course, My Hero, they've been showing that. They nonstop been showing Naruto and stuff like that. Naruto Shippuden. So I kind of get what you're saying. Like, oh, it looks like they're showing more action stuff more recently, but I feel like you just haven't paid attention. Honestly, I feel like you just haven't really seen really been paying attention to what Toonami's been up to because he's just been showing just nonstop anime, especially ever since it got into Adult Swim. Like they've been just really on it. You're really showing some really cool stuff on there. So like it's really cool to see that or to know what they're gonna be putting back uh on Toonami what they're gonna be showing. For me, I don't want to say I don't care. It's more like it's cool to see that that these are the shows that they're gonna be more able more accessible for people out there who are just not who don't have those streaming services like Crunchyroll or Funimation or maybe Hulu or Netflix. It's really rare for someone not to have a streaming service now and still watch TV. It's kind of weird because like it's great that Toonami's still bringing anime over here to the Western side and things like that and pushing it, but like it's just so accessible right now where or you could watch anime at any time on pretty much almost any platform, really. If you have Crunchyroll, you have Funimation, whatever. Um, I guess it's for those people who haven't really jumped into anime yet, or like they see it on their service, like on Netflix, whatever, but they haven't really given it a chance
Hmm.
to kind of like check it out on Toonami or on Adult Swim or something like that, which is cool to see. I feel like they're wasting some airtime showing Sword Art Online. They could be showing something else, something better. But that's neither here or there. But no, it's still really cool to see that Toonami's still trucking along. Still bringing the anime over to the Western Hemisphere for us. Uh, Even though you can kind of just look it up on your own on all these other streaming services, but
Yeah.
still, you know, but still cool to see.
I mean, yeah, no, it's cool to see. I mean, the time frame, like the time stop for all these animes to come out, is it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's basically after midnight. You can watch all these shows. When, to be honest, if you really want to watch them, you can watch them at any time of day if you just look it up on Google or something like that. Because I'm 1,000% positive that you can find a pirate site to watch said things. Um, and
And not even that, just like Crunchyroll or Funimation or on Hulu or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a cool part too. I think Toonami kind of just brings the ease of access to people who don't want to like dive into like the Crunchyroll subscriptions and anything like that. But that also being
Right.
said, though, there's like free week like trial periods, so like you don't have to fully commit to anything. I definitely suggest getting like a Crunchyroll, a Funimation, what is it, a Verve, right? I forget the
Yeah, there is Verve,
yeah.
where it's like I don't know how to explain it, but like you pay $70 a month or whatever, and you have access to Funimation and Crunchyroll and a bunch of other stuff like that. So like if you want to do something like that, you can. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of Verve. Their interface is kind of annoying to me. Just kind of how it works. But it is there for people who want to check it out too. If not, you can always just get a week trial. I'm pretty sure Funimation and Crunchyroll offer that.
Hmm.
And a lot of and some of the anime that is on Funimation, it is on Hulu if you have a Hulu account. They do, and Hulu has a really large selection of anime on there
They
too,
really do, yeah.
anyways. So and for whatever reason, let's just say if you have none of those, but you still have Netflix anime selection is not that big, but they still have some bangers. They still have some slappers on there, some good stuff on there too. So so just in case if you do want to get into anime, you do have those options. And like you're right, Hector. Like it is more. They do make it more accessible for those people who you know we're not ready to jump in on the streaming service just yet, or who are just checking it out maybe, or maybe they're for whatever reason still watch TV and they're just flipping through the channels and might land on Adult Swim on Toonami, might see an anime like, oh man, this is cool, I'm gonna check it out. So who knows?
That is true. That is true. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of that little article that I kind of noticed and did want to kind of talk about. But lastly, the one that I kind of want to talk about as well because it kind of ties into some like greater picture things. So in Japan, I believe. Let me just want to double check really quickly. Okay, yeah. So in Japan, a waste management company called Takuma released a short promotional anime on this past Monday with a time traveling story. So it's kind of really cool. And I'm going to give you the synopsis of it. In the anime, a young employee at the company suffers from a lapse of confidence until she travels back in time to the Taisho era, where she encounters company founder Tsunechikichi Takuma as a younger man who shares his ideals for creating a sustainable environment where everyone can smile. He freely relates his troubles designing a working boiler, and his willingness to keep trying after failure inspires the time-traveling employee to do her best when she returns to the present. The anime was produced by the talent and production company Pines, which served as and Junichi Yamamoto, who served as the director, storyboard artist, and character designer. It's really cool to see companies. Now, granted, in Japan, this is something not very uncommon. But in Japan, people, just tend to use anime to kind of show bigger picture and just things that really need to be kind of focused on, right? So, it's really cool to see that these companies are using anime to kind of promote a cleaner, sustainable lifestyle and to kind of just use it where like people are more mindful of things. I know, for example, a kind of cup noodle. I'm pretty sure it actually is cup noodle itself, but they used One Piece characters and kind of made like a anime kind of short that used these One Piece characters, but it's like Luffy, Nami, and all them were in high school, and it's kind of just them showing the story of One Piece, but through a different kind of aspect and different kind of scope, and just also promoting a product. So I think it's really really cool to see something like that. And just obviously the waste management is like such a huge topic, and just being environmentally savvy and just caring about the world. So yeah, I mean, Rafa, how do you feel about that? Just knowing and seeing something like that, which is kind of really cool, and just how the media is trying to kind of catch up with anime and just showing how like that's something that to people catch eyes on.
It's cool because I like it a lot. And like you said, this is for Japanese market and stuff like that for people out there and for them viewers. Just so it's not really new. Like when you were talking about about it, the one thing that reminded me was I don't know if you ever saw it, but there was a McDonald's commercial,
Oh.
but it's animated like an anime, and man, it looks nice, man. It's like some really nice animation, bro. Like it makes you want to go buy a burger, like right off the bat, Like it's some really nice stuff. It and like you said, it's nothing new. For them, you always end up finding things like that, like
Hmm.
say like the McDonald's commercial or like I'm trying to think what was something else I had it in mind, but like like these guys with the waste management thing. So like you always find things like that. It's really cool to see that how pretty much how Japan has embraced anime. Like it is part of the culture, but um, it's kind of just been accepted more, there because I know a certain amount of time, back in the day, people would look down upon it, and kind of be like, oh, it's just a bunch of bunch of nerd stuff, and like it's more embraced now more than ever, especially in Japan. Here, it's still considered kind of a nerdy thing, more on the nerdier side than other things, but it's slowly getting there, just like with video games and Star Wars and comic books and stuff like that. So hopefully one day we'll have our own anime commercial out there promoting something. That'd be pretty cool to see. Hopefully one day we'll get something like that. But no, it's always like really cool to see when they put something out like that. Just really, if not to, if you don't really care what they're promoting or they're trying to sell you, just to really see how nice the animation is. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, dude, that McDonald's one was like, man. Or for example, like the Pokemon one that we talked about a few
Oh
episodes
yeah,
ago.
the Pokemon Gacha.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, music video. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that. Like that's some really really cool stuff. Like it's really fun. It's really it really catches your eye when they do stuff like that. So no, it's just hopefully we get more like that, and hopefully we get some of that here in the United States. That'd be cool to see too.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad you kind of brought up video games with all that too, because the reason why I wanted to talk about this, not only because it was something really cool that I would have never really imagined, of like just seeing, especially here in the U.S. But funny enough, this is not super anime related, but it kind of also brings up the fact that like people are using all these new forms of media and new forms of just very popular things that are happening in the world to kind of promote certain things that people believe that they should be kind of focusing on and just kind of progressing the world in a positive way. So it kind of just really really reminded me of actually what just happened a few days ago, as of recording this podcast, which is when AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez played Among Us with a few of like these very very popular Twitch streamers like Pokimane and Toast, Disguised Toast, and these other people who are very very huge streamers, Valkyrie and all of them. And she just kind of used that as a way to also just kind of, and I guess entice isn't the best way or the best word to use, but just kind of make those voters aware that they are a huge part in changing the world and being able to go vote. So I don't want to get too political into it, but yeah, essentially just seeing how like people out there of power and that have influence are kind of using said influence and incorporating anime, incorporating video games, and incorporating all this other stuff that normally didn't used to be used all the time, but now is just becoming more and more kind of prominent in like media and things like that. So I think it's really really cool to see.
No, yeah, it is. It's some might call it pandering, some might call it like like oh look, they're trying to talk to the youth and look what they're doing. But honestly, dude, like we need to get out there and then vote no matter like no matter like who you want to vote for. Like um we're not here to tell you who to vote for, or whatever. We're not. This is not a politic type of podcast, but going out there and being part of the system, being part of the process is important. So saying that to myself also because I also need to vote. So
Facts. I actually sent my vote, my early voter in. So
nice.
that's cool. But yeah, I mean, essentially, guys, that is it for the news segment, but kind of not really. And here's why. And I know usually I would tune out, with our very thank you Rafa, thank you Hector tune at the end. But the reason why this isn't entirely over is because it kind of spills over to this really incredible, surprising article that I found on a non-anime website. Because most of the time we do use Anime News Network as a huge source for our anime news. There's also Crunchyroll, who does kind of shell out some articles on their website, and also just other anime related places. But the craziest thing is that Variety.com. If you haven't heard of them, it's a huge, huge website that kind of just talks about news, that talks about pop culture, that talks about all just a variety of things that they're going to update you on. They actually had an article published on the 19th of October titled Demon Slayer Kills with $44 million sold in the Japan box office weekend of its release. Now, I think it's kind of insane because I know we've talked about Demon Slayer and how, in the past podcast episodes, we said, they're doing great numbers. We're really excited for it to come to the U.S., but it literally turns out that on an unusual release of a Friday over in Japan, on the 403 screens, through the distribution of Aniplex and Toho, the film earned $12 million on its opening day, and over the 3-day period, it totaled over $44 million. So it's kind of really insane. It had around 3.42 million admissions of people just coming in to watch the movie over in Japan, and it actually skyrocketed to the number one movie in all of the world. So out of all the openings, this is the number one movie, and that's why Variety decided to talk about it, because it beat every single movie that released pre-pandemic, post. Like it's insane. So just to see that this, Demon Slayer the movie Mugen Train is the most popular movie, an anime movie at that, is insane.
Oh, it's so that's it's so it beat all the other movies like worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's like the
that's
number one movie.
that is craziness. Oh, that's really awesome. Awesome to hear. They have to bring it over here now. I mean, it would be crazy. Well, it's unfortunate because it's kind of hard to bring things over now here to the United States, but hopefully, eventually, once things get better, they would have to bring it, right? It's making way too much money for them not to bring it here. I feel like, and it's really cool to see that all those people came out and supported it, and like you said, like it made like big news, like Variety talked about it. Like it's really cool to see, man. It's really cool to see. Like it's getting me even more hyped for the movie. I just can't wait to see that movie. Like, if all those people saw it, man, I just can't wait. Just can't wait.
I mean, it's so Crunchyroll even says that the Mugen Train movie takes the franchise for one of the best rides in anime history, for releases, and it's dude, it's insane the fact that it's getting such traction and such love from obviously just those over in Japan, and it's broke global box office records. And like you said, yeah, there's no way that they're not going to bring it over to the U.S. because, of course, Japan really loves Demon Slayer, but I'm telling you, man, there's so many fans worldwide that there's no way they're not bringing it here, and they're just gonna make hella bank. Like I don't know how else to just express that, but they're gonna make so much money off of this. But it's so worth it, like just to show that anime is in a huge light that people can't exactly ignore anymore because it's starting to become more kind of commonplace and become more like popular and loved by so many different people. Our generation, Rafa, it wasn't exactly accepted as much, but now it's becoming more and more of the norm, and people are really starting to enjoy it and kind of just be more open about themselves. I remember you kind of speaking about once. I don't want to say fairly recently, but recently, where there was a gentleman who was wearing a Luffy hat from One Piece out in public, and you were just like, "Oh, that's cool!" Like you noticed that, but you wouldn't go up to him and just say, "Oh, that's dope," blah blah blah. But I mean, yeah, it's like just seeing how it's becoming more kind of open in the world, and just people kind of loving it more and more. It just kind of just shows that like you guys can make so much money off of anime if you guys just put the time and effort and make some amazing quality stuff. So just I guess just to wrap it all up, I'm super excited for the Mugen Train movie to come to the U.S. and I want to watch it so bad.
Okay, so I was like, wait, that doesn't like I was so confused when we were saying like I was like that doesn't sound right to me, but apparently it's the records that it beat was in Japan, like their box office.
I mean, which is still insane. I'm sure it's gonna do
It's
the exact
insane.
same thing over here.
So I was like, wait, didn't like Endgame make like $1 billion or something, or something like that? Like I was
Oh
just
no,
like,
but
wait
I
a
was like talking
minute.
for like this year because I think Endgame didn't come out this year. Endgame came out like
Yeah,
years
no,
ago.
no. That was on me. I was just like, wait a minute. Like that's great and all, but that something doesn't sound right here. So I started
This
looking up.
isn't adding up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, but I get what you're saying. No, no, that's great, man. Just can't wait. I can't wait to see that movie, man. That's all I gotta say.
Like I know what happens, but I don't want any of the actual screen time and all that stuff being spoiled for me. But like some of this, just the screenshots of of the movie, because obviously they show kind of stuff as like promotional little things. Oh, actually, speaking of promotional like things, there were like super sick because I also saw this like badges that they gave out during the movie theater showings. With like different main characters from the show on the badges and like the lanyards and things like that, and then all the popcorn bags were like Demon Slayer kind of decorated and things like that. Like some of them, like each there was I want to say like eight, yeah, like eight, 7 or 8 bags, different types of bags that you could get as popcorn bags, that had like different characters from like the show, the like the soda, what are those things called? The soda cups. Jesus Christ, I kind of blanked on there. But the soda cups were like water style, kind of decorated around like the cup itself, and like it's really really cool. Like a lot of like the promotional quote unquote merch was like really cool to see. When I was looking it up, the just the information on the show and the movie and everything.
No, that's cool. It's always cool to see when they do stuff like that. You know, give that extra step to it. You know, give that detail. I know, just in the popcorn and the drinks and just all that stuff. That's cool. Right? Hopefully they do that here when they bring it here
Yeah, I mean, I remember.
to the States.
It's kind of funny because you brought up Endgame, but I remember talking, or not talking. I remember buying a metal tin of popcorn, and it was like Endgame all around. I still have it somewhere, but it's sick. But I hope they kind of do something similar to that because I would 100% buy a Demon Slayer popcorn tin. But yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty much it for when it comes to this topic on Demon Slayer movie and it just being the number one uh global box office record breaking in Japan. That being said, though, I kind of want to move on to something that kind of, we've spoken about recently, but from what I remember you telling me, before the pod started, that you kind of started watching this fall season a little bit, more in depth and things like that, and you kind of dipped your toes more in some more, episodes of different animes that you kind of wanted to watch. So, I definitely want to hear more from you, Rafa. Talk to me about all that stuff, and let's get it going. Let's get it cracking.
Yeah, man, because there hasn't been 3 weeks yet, right? There hasn't been the three. Most of these shows or some of these shows, they don't have their 3 weeks or 3 episodes out just yet, right? So we can't really do the whole recap thing that we do on here. But I just kind of want to give my thoughts just throughout, because I did start seeing a couple more shows on here. On the internet or whatever, and I kind of just want to give my thoughts. I don't know if you have, Hector, or I don't know if you kind of went through it. I know we talked about it last week, so I don't know if you have any new ones or anything else that you kind of want to bring up. But I do have three that I saw that I kind of want to talk about really quickly. We're gonna start off with Burn the Witch. I saw the first episode.
Ooh, okay.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like the girl with the blonde hair. She's my favorite. I like her. I like her attitude. She's really cool. Um, the one thing that I kept thinking to myself while watching the first episode is that this anime could honestly could have just it could have stand alone by itself. Like it, and I know that and that we all know that it's connected to Bleach. It's in the same world as Bleach is. Like I think it's like it's years after a certain thing that happened in Bleach. I don't know exactly what that was, but you know, it, yeah, it's connected to Bleach. It's like that. It's like their version of the Soul Society or whatever in London or England or whatever. But honestly, nothing about it reminded me of Bleach. You know,
I 100% agree. Go on.
watching, I was like, man, this is clearly a Bleach spinoff. It's just like they could have not mentioned Bleach at all. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they used that that leverage, like, oh, it's Bleach or whatever, to kind of really get it made, get it done or whatever, or like the guy maybe the guy who made Bleach needed to kind of see that to kind of get it published. I don't know. I don't know what's the reasoning why, but and who knows? I mean, I just watched episode one. Maybe somehow, some way, it connects back to what we know from Bleach in Japan and things like that, and where they are or whatever. Maybe there's some ways that they find it. There's a connection somehow. But as of what I've seen, it literally could have done his own thing. Like you could have just been like, hey, there's this new anime called Burn the Witch, and it's about these I don't know, are they called witches? I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called, but like
I think they are
there's like
witches, I think.
there's this council of people. There's this group of people who are keeping London safe from dragons, and not everybody can see the dragons, and there's rules, and this, like, it felt like his own thing, honestly. Like, it's great. It was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. The whole, like, fighting that one dragon that turned black. Like, you can tell, like, you can tell that there's a lot happening. There's a lot, like, you can tell that the story has been planned out. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but like the way they were talking, the way they were bringing things up, like you can tell like they know, like the lore has been set up pretty much, right? Like the background, the 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 background information is set up or whatever. So like they're fighting a dragon, right? And they cut the dragon's face off. But then the dragon is still alive, and then it somehow becomes a black dragon, and apparently that's like way worse, right? Like they didn't stop and be like, oh man, it's a black dragon. When it becomes a black dragon, it does this. Like it didn't stop the show to explain it to you. They were like, oh man, it's a black dragon. Now the situation got worse, and now they have to figure out how to stop it, right? Like it felt very natural the way they were telling the story, the way they were introducing things, the way they were explaining things to you as a viewer, which I love. Hector, I've brought it up many times before, and I mean I'm bringing it up now, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring it over and over again in the future. My One of my biggest things that I hate is when a show, especially with anime, stops and explains things to you. Pure exposition. I hate that.
I mean,
Excuse me.
you're fine.
Excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
You can continue, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. I had to sneeze. Yeah, it's just no. Like, find a way to tell the story, just like how they did, without you explaining too much things to me. Just go with the flow. Find a nice pace to it. Perfect. I can't wait to see what else they got going on. I can't wait to see what the other episodes are. I think, like you said, there's like two more episodes out of right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's Burn the Witch. Can't wait to see more of it. Excited. Um, I don't know if you remember Hector, but this is one anime that I was kind of excited about, and I was actually very excited about. It was about the let me pull up the name. It was about the high school girls who were they're like in a comedy group.
Oh, is it the fruit tart one?
No, that's just that's just an idol, like a street idol show.
Oh, okay. I think I remember which one. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm remembering the art of it. I think it was on
Yeah,
Funimation, no?
it had like four girls and they're like jumping in the air and they had like it looks like they were like playing instruments, but they weren't really playing instruments.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's called I have it right here. Masetsu opening act. So I saw the first episode and boy, for a comedy anime, it was very, very boring.
Oh.
I struggled watching to this anime. Now, it's just this anime is just it's just like okay, like what's happening here? Like, first of all, the character designs for the for the characters, the girls or whatever, it's very confusing the way they drew these characters because the four main girls apparently are already out of high school. I think they're in college or whatever. They really don't say how old they are, but they clearly look like they're in either middle school or in high school. And it doesn't help that they have certain in the first episode, there's certain scenes where the four main girls are standing next to some high school girls and they look exactly the same. Like there's no differentiating on who's older or whatever. So it's like I was like literally like halfway through the episode, I was like, are they in high school? Like I didn't know, and the show didn't tell you until like halfway through. Like, oh yeah, we graduated high school already. I'm like, okay, when you're gonna tell me this? Like, I'm just supposed to assume I know this because I clearly can't tell by the character design. Like, they all look like they're in high school, you know, and and I just found it. I don't know. It just for like I said, for a show that's supposed to be about this comedy group or these girls doing this comedy group stuff, it missed a lot of the jokes missed. I didn't really find it that funny. There's a few things here and there that did make me chuckle, but like overall, it's just like, man, this is really boring. Um, they so pretty much what happened was that the main girl, she her little sister's like they I guess she's in charge of like a talent show or something like that that's going on, and one of the performers dropped out, so they needed to fill in the space. So they called her and her friends up, and they're like, "Oh, like it's the comedy troupe, funny laugh people or whatever their name was. I don't know. I'm just kind of making it up now." But they went up there, and instead of actually starting to tell jokes or whatever, they were just like they were just doing like air guitar. Like they were it was like they performed the whole song without
What
instruments.
the hell?
Yeah. So they're like, hey, introducing the next act, like the comedy group, Laugh Guy group, whatever their name is. I just made that up. Laugh group guy, come on stage. So the four girls run up on stage. All of them are sitting down, like on a little like a chair, like what the drummers sit on. And the other three are more closer to the stage, or whatever. And then there's a song playing, and they're literally pretending to play instruments without instruments. So the girl, there's one girl in the back acting like she's hitting the drums. There's one girl acting like she's on bass. And the other two are like on guitar and stuff like that. And then they're like, I don't know if they're singing the song or they're just like pretending to sing the song. That's not clear to me. But I was like, how is this funny? How is this supposed to be comedy? Like you're just you're just thinking about on stage, and of course the audience, because there's a bunch of high school girls, they're like, yeah, they're all into it or whatever. I'm like, I would have just been like, what is this? I thought this was a comedy group. Like, what's happening, right? So the song ends, and then the main girl, the girl with the red hair, she's the main girl. She starts talking about. She does an impression of Shin Chan. I don't know if you remember that anime, but it's an older anime. It's a really funny anime, but it's like
No.
for adults. So it's for adults, that anime, but it's really funny. It's a really funny anime. They should show it on Adult Swim and Toonami all the time. But like she was doing an impression of that, right? Like a joke on that, and it bombed. It just bombed completely. Like nobody laughed, right? And it just ends. Like the I guess the performance just ended there. Like they didn't tell any more jokes after that. They just kind of just walked off stage. It's like, did you just is this all you guys had planned? Like dance around the stage and then tell one horrible joke? Like what is this? Like it's oh man, it was like I was just like annoyed by this show. It was not funny. It's not funny at all. It was just like for a show that's supposed to make me laugh, you are failing completely. Um,
I'm not gonna lie, that shit sounds hilarious.
Check it out, man, if you want, bro. It's just
It sounds hilarious because I understand that you don't like it, so obviously you're describing it in a way that it's just this is your reaction to it. But like it, I'm pretty sure if I started watching it, I would feel the exact same way. But just hearing you not like it is just funny.
it was just like what are you guys doing? Like, and I kind of did find it humorous. There's certain parts I kind of did find a little bit funny. Like I like how they kind of suck at it. They're really bad at making people laugh or whatever. And even though this has been their goal since like high school to be comedians or whatever, but they're really bad at it apparently. I found that funny. I'm not like busting out laughing like oh it's no, but I found it amusing. Like they're bad at the one thing that they're trying to achieve, and I found that funny. Um, but overall, the jokes didn't work. It wasn't funny. Like halfway through the first episode, you're confused. Like who are these characters? Like who is the older person here? Like they all look the same. The character designs are a little bit too cartoony. I think that's one of the problems I have with it. Like they're a little bit too cute. They're a little bit too fluffy, if that makes sense. They're a little bit too moe, you know? They
Okay.
could have pulled back a little bit on it. Like because everybody's so cute and everybody's so moe and everybody's so fluffy or whatever that they all look the same. They all look like they're in the first year of high school or like they're in middle school or whatever. It's just man, I don't know. Just I'm still gonna watch the next episodes because there are 3 episode rule. It might turn me around. It might somehow become funny later on. Who knows? But I'm gonna give it a chance. I hope they dropped the whole air guitar stuff, like the whole thing. It was just so dumb. It's just so dumb. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Oh, whatever. That show, I was just like, man, I wasted my half an hour watching this show. But moving on to to the next show that I watched. And this show right here, I'm enjoying it a lot. It is a show that was not on my list, by the way. This show just came out of nowhere. I just saw it on Funimation, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?" It's called Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. It is, as of right now, this is my favorite show of the season.
But is it a this season show or is it like
Yes, it is. It is. It's exclusive this season. There's only 3 episodes out right now.
what? All right, talk to us
Yes,
about it.
bro, this show right here is a good one. Out of everything that I've seen, out of the stupid comedy show, out of Burn the Witch, out of what else did I saw that I talked about last week? Those shows, I can't remember what I talked about, but I talked about the other witch show and
Oh, Kuma Kuma Bear.
Kuma Kuma Bear. Yeah, those shows are great. But this show right here, man, I only saw episode 1 and I'm already sold. I'm already buckling in, Hector. I'm set. I'm set. This show is funny. This show has made me laugh through the first episode. It made me laugh through the whole thing. What the other show, the comedy show that I just talked about, what they wanted to do, this show did in spades. Okay, so the premises, just really quickly. So it's like in a fantasy world, right? Where there's a princess and there's this castle and there's a demon lord and there's monsters and stuff like that. And for and they live in harmony, right? Until one day the demon lord says, "You know what? I'm gonna steal me a princess." So he goes and steals and kidnaps the princess, right? From the main girl of the show. And then the humans are all like, "Oh no, they stole her. What are we gonna do?" And then the hero of the story, he's like, "I'm gonna go save her. Don't worry, y'all. I got it." Right? So then he goes off to save the princess. That's like literally the first 2 minutes of the show. What I just told you. It cuts to the demon lord's like castle, like his lair dungeon, whatever you want to call it. Like it's like a castle, and it's and it's the princess talking about like, hey, like yeah, I'm captured, but like they feed me three times a day, and it's pretty good food, and I don't have to worry about like dealing with like stuff, like she doesn't have anything to do. She just lays around and sleeps all day. Like that's literally all she does. And and the whole episode is her trying to um pretty much improve the way she sleeps or whatever. Like for example, the first thing she does is that like she notices that her pillow is all lumpy and flat and like it's not fluffy. Like it's a pretty crappy pillow they give her, right? So she's like, okay, well, I can't sleep. It has to be because of this pillow. All right, I'm gonna get me a new pillow. So then she somehow finds a way to escape her cell. She's already out of her cell on the first episode. Like you can just go home. You're already out of your cell, right? You can just walk home. But no, she just goes out there, finds a bunch of materials and whatever to like and makes herself a new pillow. And it's like it's super fluffy and she loves it and she's able to fall asleep, right? And like the thing that man, the thing that the reason why I really like this show is because they're kind of doing the thing where it's like she is technically the captive, right? She's been captured by the demon lord and all his minions or whatever. But really, it's her terrorizing them, which is like the really funny thing, you know? Like she's going around like she I don't want to give it away. Like it's a really funny joke at the beginning, but she has a way that she can leave her cell at any time. It's a really funny joke. So whenever she wants to leave her cell, she just has to do this one thing, and she's out, and she can just wander around the whole castle, right? So while she's wandering around the whole castle, terrorizing people, trying to get the thing that she needs, right? The minions are like, "Oh, demon lord, she escaped again," and he's like, "How did she escape?" or whatever, right? So then and then eventually the demon lord's like, "You know what? I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna let her know the business to not do this anymore because she's our captive, and she can't be doing that." So then the demon lord eventually goes up to the cell where she's in, like, and she's already done terrorizing everybody, getting whatever she has to get. And like for example, she made her pillow. So she's already asleep, holding her pillow, like sleeping on her pillow, and the demon lord's standing there, like with the door of the cell open, staring at her as she's asleep. And he's and then and he doesn't want to wake her up because she's asleep. So then he's like, "I'll talk to her tomorrow." So he just leaves, and that's literally that's like a running gag throughout the episode. So like the next time she was like, "Oh man, like yeah, the pillow's great, but like the sheets on my pillow are like, oh, they're all like they're hard and they're not soft, so I need to get new sheets." So then she sees a bunch of like the minions wearing capes, and she sees one guy with this really fancy, like shiny, really soft looking cape. So then she gets these giant pair of scissors, and she's running around cutting people's capes. So and you hear them yelling like, "Ah, she cut my cape!" Like it's just a goofy scenario after another of her just trying to improve her bed pretty much so she can sleep comfortably. And it's just a bunch of shenanigans. It's so much fun. It's so much fun just to see her again. Like she's a captive, but she's the one that's terrorizing them, the bad guys. It's just a really fun anime. It's funny. It's so funny. I can't wait to see the rest of these episodes. It's just this is gonna be. I can already tell this is gonna be one of my favorite shows, and I don't know. I still have a lot more anime to see, clearly, but I can I want to. I'm gonna predict right now. I'm gonna say it right now, Hector. This is gonna be at least in my top three of this season.
Holy guacamole! That's a huge statement.
I enjoyed. I really enjoyed this her first episode, and like I when I first started watching it, like I got halfway to the first episode, and then I stopped it because I had to go do something,
Mhm.
and I came back, and most of the time I just when I come back to finish an episode, I just keep watching where I left off. I enjoyed that first part so much that I rewatched it all over again. I just started the episode all over. It's so much fun. I highly recommend this show. It wasn't on my list, but it's for sure on my top of my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It does look kind of funky, which is cool.
It's funny, man. It's a funny, funny show.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're definitely more so in the type to like shows like that for sure.
And the cool thing is, Hector, man. This is my last statement about this, Hector. This is
Mhm.
my last statement, okay? I'm just gonna say this really quick. This is what I've been waiting for, okay? I've been waiting for a show like this, okay? Because nothing wrong with the last season, nothing wrong with Run a Girlfriend. Run a Girlfriend was great. It was fun. I enjoyed it so much. But last season, those and of course it had to do it wasn't the best season. A lot of things were cut, a lot of things were missing. But like I was waiting for a show like this, for a show that it's a straight comedy that makes me laugh, that makes me chuckle, that there's just shenanigans and goofs and gaffs left and right. This is a show I've been waiting for a show like this for a while now, and then it finally delivered, man. Like I can't. I'm just happy that there's a show like this season because there of course you always get your action anime, you get your slice of life and your moe anime, but you don't see it that often where you get a straight comedy like this, which I'm all about.
Okay. No, yeah, honestly, I mean, I could see why you say that. For me, although it's a little bit different. I actually did recently just watched like the first episode of one of the shows that, to be honest, was not on my list. It kind of caught me by surprise. I kind of just saw it, and like I saw the artwork for it on Hulu, and I was like, oh, you know what, I actually am gonna check this out, and I was pleasantly surprised. The show is called Akudama Drive, and it is so it's really cool. So it's essentially a show where it's like this like kind of future, world where there's like a lot of technology, and like it's kind of like Neo Tokyo-esque, right? So like you're gonna see a lot of like Japanese influence like buildings and art and things like that, but then like future aesthetic to it. And essentially it's kind of just about where these high-ranking criminals, they're called Akudamas, they are each kind of like established criminals, and they kind of do their own special tasks. So it's kind of like Ocean's 11, Ocean's 8 kind of like vibe, where it's like one of them is the courier, and he has like this futuristic motorcycle that literally allows him to swing through like the city on like these cable wires, and he's like a motorcycle swinging through the air like Spider-Man, and he's also riding on like the side of the buildings and things like that. There's another one who is like this what are those called, those people that really like pain and like get like aroused when like there's blood and gore.
Masochist.
Yeah, so there's a masochist big-breasted doctor woman who like just loves quote unquote fixing and helping people from near-death experiences, but in reality she like to save one person she'll kill like 7. It's like insane.
No, not a masochist. Masochist is when you like getting hurt. It's the opposite of masochist.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think people kind of get the gist of it now. There's another one who's like this expert hacker. Another guy who is like the brawler of the group. He just loves to fight and is like extremely strong. And then there's like these two kind of lesser criminals. One's actually a complete and innocent person. And she kind of gets wrapped up in it. She's somewhat the main character of the story. And she, in a way, kind of gets brought into this like big master plan that she really wasn't supposed to even be a part of, but she kind of just fell into it. And she's now with these crazy Akudamas who are like the top of the food chain, the top criminals in this world. And you kind of meet this other character who I don't want to spoil it because he's actually really cool, but he's like a serial killer. And then this other guy who is like a very low criminal who's like, he's just kind of there. He is kind of one of those people that kind of like swindles money and things like that. But he was like in the lower level of like the prison, and when something happens, he kind of gets released, and he kind of convinces them that he's some like big shot. Well, he really convinces the dumb people in the group. The smart people are like, yeah, we know you're not that, bro, but all right, keep going. And like he convinces like the dumber people in the group that he's like some big shot and this and that. The show itself is really crazy, and it's kind of like they have like this master plan, this master mission that they have to kind of complete while all of them don't get along and blah blah blah. But it like I said, it really caught me by surprise, and I really like it. I'm excited for the next episode. I'm 2 episodes deep. And literally as I'm talking about this, I checked it out because it didn't show up, but the next episode comes out at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm super excited about it. Just to watch it. So I mean, yeah, like that show, like I said, caught me by surprise. I really enjoyed it. And other than that, I think I haven't really watched any new episodes just yet of like stuff that has come out yet, or stuff that hasn't come out for the shows of fall 2020. I will say I'm very happy with a lot of the fall 2020 animes. I can probably only say I really want to drop one, but I'm not going to get too into detail about it because obviously that's for our 3-episode rule. And kind of just 3 episodes in review of the fall 2020 anime. But just overall, I can say that I'm kind of surprised. I'm really enjoying a lot of these shows, not just continuing, shows that have like ongoing seasons, like One Piece and things like that. But yeah, like I'm genuinely surprised to see just how well this is going with fall 2020 anime. Granted, it's only, like I said, it's only 3 episodes in for some of them. So we'll see by the end, when we finally do a full recap of fall 2020, how we feel about it in general.
Oh, show. And it's called Sadist. She's a sadist.
Oh, she's a sadist. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's her. She's hot, but like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Okay. But that being said, guys, that was our recap and reactions to the fall 2020 anime. Now it's finally time to get into our staple, staple iconic segment of the show. It's time for the anime swap. Only you can make the perfect sound effect for that, Rafa.
Okay. Thank
you. Guys, welcome to the anime swap portion of the show. Now, this week we're going to be talking about the 2 shows that we swapped amongst, each other. Now, if you guys didn't know, if you guys are new to everything, Anime Swap is essentially a segment in the podcast where Rafa recommends something to myself, I recommend something to Rafa, and then we kind of discuss and come back after, for the next week episodes podcast, and we kind of say, okay, well, we gave the show you recommended us the 3-episode rule. Now it's time to discuss why we liked it, why we didn't like it, how we felt. Rafa, I actually want to hear you talk about your anime first, real quick.
For sure. The anime that you recommended to me was, I don't remember the name. It was Mecha. What's this freaking anime
called? Oh, Mecha City.
Something. Mecha City Actors.
There you go.
Yeah. Man, this is gonna be a first for Anime Swap because I'm pretty sure this is the first. Well, I might have said something like this before for a different anime, but I'm mad at this anime. I am upset with this anime, but I feel like I'm still gonna watch it.
Ooh, and why?
Because oh man, this is just that. Like, first of all, like visually, I feel like it's too much, and I feel like I'm in a minority with that because the studio who worked on what's it called, Mecha City Actors, they're called Shaft, and they're the same people who worked on this other anime that I tried watching. I just couldn't get into it just because how crazy the visuals were. I was just overloaded, like with the aesthetics and whatever. I was just like, oh man, I can't focus on the anime. It's called like, oh man, what's this? It's a big old long name. Like, let me look it up really quick. It deals with like a guy who, he becomes a vampire, I think, and then. Or like there's a girl who she has like blonde hair and she likes donuts, and she's a vampire and she's like over 200 years old. And there's another girl with like purple hair, and she uses like school utensils to fight. I don't know if this sounds does this sound familiar to you at all?
It's been a minute since I watched Mecha City.
But no, I'm talking about a different anime.
Yeah. Which is I'm trying to see how you're connecting it, but I don't.
I'm connecting because it's the same studio, and it has the same style, like visually has the same style. Oh my god, what is the name of this dang anime?
Dank anime.
I'm looking it up right now, but like it's Bakemonogatari.
No. Okay, yeah, you lost me there.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you so you can take a look at it. But it's from this anime, Bakemonogatari, aired in 2009. I remember watching this show, and I was just like, I was like, man, this is just too much. It's just too. It's just visually, it's all over. Like, I don't say it's all over the place because clearly there, just like with Mecha City actors, there's clearly someone having a vision on how they want this to look. You know, a lot of the shots in both anime, a lot of the shots are um there's a feeling of symmetry to the shots. For example, a lot of the times when the characters are standing in the middle of the shot and like the things that are left to right to them are they're like lined up horizontally or in a certain way, so it has a certain look, a certain aesthetic to it. Um, a lot of the times there aren't any shadows on on whatever scene you're watching, so there's a lot of flat colors, or you know sometimes the angles are really weird, and you know it's a very unique looking anime, you know, and and you know I'm not against something like that. I'm like I think that's really cool, but but watching both of these shows, I kind of feel like I feel like they were just doing it just to do it, you know. I feel like it's just yes, it's a certain style to it. Yes, it makes it unique, and but at the same time, like, is it really adding to the story? You know, for me, I just found it very distracting. And I I feel like I'm in a minority because especially with the anime that I was just telling you about, Hacker, the one that reminds me of, um Bakemonogatari, because that anime has a bunch of spin-offs, like a bunch of spin-offs. And then I know it's very popular. Like it has like its own fan base and everything, but I just for me I just cannot get behind that. I kind of start getting a headache after a bit. Like, oh man, like please slow down. Like, can you just like not move, quote unquote, the camera so much? You know, like I know it's anime and it's drawings or whatever, but like just the way they're showing scenes. Like, can you just like stop for a second? Like, just let me take in the scene instead of you cutting to like a whole different other angle or whatever. Like, it was just so it's very distracting.
Okay, so I looked at obviously the picture you sent me. I can honestly say I have no idea what this is.
Okay, well, that show it's a pretty popular show, and its spin-offs are really popular too. Like they have their fan base or whatever, right?
Mm.
But my point was is that both shows have the same aesthetic. You can tell that the Studio Shaft worked on both shows, right? And I'm not saying that Studio Shaft is the only style they do because they worked on a lot of other stuff, you know. They worked on Madoka Magica, which is one of my favorite anime of all time. You know, I don't hate Studio Shaft. I just like and they have used like this that stylized look in Madoka Magica also, but for example with Madoka Magica, they only use it for certain scenes here and there, right? With these shows, where for example with actor. I'm just gonna call it actors. I keep forgetting what the first name is. With the this show, actors or whatever, the one that you recommended me for at least the first two episodes is just like from start to end. It's just that style nonstop, and I'm just like, please stop. I'm getting frustrated watching it because I'm trying to read the what they're saying, right? The
Mm.
subtitles, while the same scene of them talking is cutting to like 50 different angles and different styles, and you know, and when they're showing them talking, you know, face to face, and next thing you know, the quote unquote camera is showing them from like bird eye view, and then there's another scene where they're like you see them through the floorboards, or it's just like can you stop? Can you just stop and let the fucking scene? I'm sorry. Can you stop and just let the scene play out? You know, that was my biggest problem with this anime. Um, and then I was really bored with the first two episodes because on top of it just being everywhere, which I just felt it was too much style, too much this, too much pizzazz. You know, it's almost like the one thing that I kept thinking about, it's almost like it's kind of a hard. I don't feel it's a little bit of a reach of a comparison, but it's almost like if someone's editing a video and then they find all these different transitions for scene to scene and they use all of them, you know, like fade to white, fade to black, star wipe. Like that's what it felt to me. Even though it's not exactly the same, because what they're doing is a lot more. There's a lot more to it
Hmm.
than that, because they're actually setting up how the scene looks, where the characters are standing, the way it's drawn, the way the shades are. There's a lot that goes into the way they produce, the way they do that style, but I just find it so distracting. That's my biggest fault with this show. Um, and then on top of the show being so distracting, I really didn't care for the first two characters. Like the first guy who was um the guy who never left the house or whatever. He's always on his computer.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for him that much. His computer assistant, like I liked her. She was cool. I like her personality. But like the other girl, the idol girl in the second episode, she was just really just kind of running away from people because they kept noticing her, and she ended up just talking to her teacher. Like that was the whole episode. I'm like, this is boring. What's happening here? But but episode three came along, and this is where I got mad. Where I really got mad because the show literally, I literally flipped on the show. It convinced me to keep watching because this I wish I if I could have gone, if somehow some way, Hector, I could have gone and told I don't know how, but like if I could have just walked up to the studio at the studio shop and be like, hey guys, cut the first two episodes and just start with episode three and just go from there. I wish I could have done that because episode three is what I really enjoyed that episode. Okay, because it first of all it still had that same style, but you can tell it was they were pulling back from it, from having it so much so everywhere, because the actual story was finally starting to pick up paces. The actual story was actually started happening, right? So I'm like, finally, like you guys are not doing so much of this and letting the characters interact and talk to each other, and uh, without having you distract me with all these different ways we could look at this one scene, right? It was great. um so it it has to do with the main guy in the first episode and the main girl the second episode, and introduce which they're brother and sister, by the way, and introduces this group of, I don't want to say kids, but this group of people who has special powers, just like the main girl from the second episode, right? So whenever their eyes glow red is when they're using their powers, right? So um, and in the first, by the way, in the first episode, the first main guy, he has to go and get a new keyboard because he spilled soda on his keyboard, so he had to go to the store. He's at the mall, and while he's at the mall, like these, I guess robbers, I don't know, like, but these guys kind of bum rush the mall and they kind of shut it all down, and I guess they're trying to get money. I don't know, honestly, don't know what they're trying to do, but like they're like attacking the mall pretty much, right? And then certain scenes happen in the first episode that kind of, I was just like, okay, why did that happen? They kind of show you the reasoning why that happened in episode three, which I thought was really cool. It involves with which involves the group of people who were just introduced in episode three and with their powers and things like that. So I thought that was really cool. It was really, I like their powers. I like I like the personalities of the new people who were introduced. Like it really, it took me by surprise, episode three, because I was ready. Hector, I'm telling you, after watching the first episodes, I'm like, oh, let me just watch this last episode, get it out the way, so I can tell Hector that I hate this show. Watched episode three, and with the new characters and everything, and when the story finally began to, and it finally started to get going, and they finally started kind of explaining things to you a little bit more and kind of letting you know what's happening. I was like, okay, now I can finally get behind this show. I can finally start enjoying these characters' interactions with each other, and it did kind of catch my interest with their powers and what kind of things they're gonna do and what's the point of this group and so it it really I ended up buying in towards the end of episode three. So I'm still mad at the show because I felt like they wasted episode one and two for the most part, especially episode two. I feel like they wasted that one like completely. Episode one was all right here and there because some of the stuff that happened in episode one did come up in episode three, so it wasn't that bad. But overall, like man, you can seriously, honestly, if anybody's interested in watching this show, just start in episode three and go from there. Like you get the same idea pretty much of what's happening off the bat on episode three. You don't need to watch episode one and two. Save yourself that 1 hour of anime and watch something else.
Ooh, a spicy, spicy conclusion. I was not
Yeah.
expecting that whatsoever. Um, yeah, I mean, I think you have said it before, where like there was one show that kind of had a similar feeling that it gave you, but I didn't think this was going to be one of them. That would kind of also be added to that list. That's really really cool to hear.
Me either.
I mean, yeah, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of stunned. I remember watching Mecha City Actors like a long time ago. It was actually back when it was still on Hulu. I don't know if it's on Funimation, but
It is on Funimation.
okay,
That's where I saw it.
yeah. So
It's and the thing is like it has such a cool opening and and I don't want people to think that I hate that Shaft style, that they have. I do like it, but it's like, for as an example or a comparison, I like adding sugar to my coffee, but at a certain point that you're just adding too much sugar. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I enjoy it's a really cool style that they have. It's very unique, and I haven't really seen anybody else do it like how they do it, but do it in moderation. Do it where it enhances the story that you're telling. Don't just do it just to do it.
hmm,
Don't just shove it in there because it's very distracting. It's very, very distracting.
okay, yeah. I mean, I remember kind of like I do remember it being a lot, like just from my memory and stuff. Like I remember it being quite a bit to just watch from for the first time or from like something that I'm not really used to. But that being said, I'm excited to hear if you continue with it or not. For me, the anime that you had recommended was Asobi Asobase,
Yes, sir.
Workshop of Fun. Now, I will say, at the beginning, probably like the first few minutes, I was not enjoying it whatsoever. I couldn't really get behind the art style.
It's a very soft, very
Yeah,
girly, very moe art style. Yeah.
yeah, the art style was kind of really
Cutesy.
yeah, it was not very appealing to me at all. Like don't get me wrong, like I can adapt, right? Like I know different anime, different art style, different production companies are going to be doing different things. Um but yeah, this one was so hard for me to get behind. Just the art style alone. I know a lot of people kind of base a lot of their, likings and things like that when it comes to like just different stuff. But for example, for anime, if they can't get behind the art style, it's kind of hard to get behind the anime, even if it is good. For example, I just don't touch any like the 3D CGI malarkey. Anyways, that's besides the point. Asobi Asubase. I did not like the first few minutes. I honestly kind of felt like it was a chore to watch it, and then it got to the part where they start playing the Japanese games. Uh,
Yes.
and I cracked up kind of hard at a few things. Like it had those subtle moments where it would make me like laugh hard. But then it kind of just get back down to a low. I didn't really enjoy the story of it, but I kind of just enjoyed the shenanigans that they would kind of get into. Out of the 3 episodes, probably my favorite thing was in episode 1, which is when they're playing like I said, the Japanese hand game, which is like They play rock paper scissors, which is Shong Kempu, and then if let's say like Rafa gets rock and I get scissors, he tells me to look left, but I look right, then I'm fine. Like if I look in the same direction he points, then I get slapped. Or no, technically there was different rules, but they were playing with slapped at the beginning because it's like 3 different girls. The blonde girl is American, who doesn't really speak all that great English, according to like from what I remember, I think, and also the description. But yeah, so she like the American girl is like very gorilla-esque in my mind. Like she's very aggressive, so she like smacked the hell out of the other girl, and then the third girl kind of gets introduced, and she plays against her. And this is the part that made me crack up hard. So for the first girl, she was flat-chested, so she didn't really have much of a chest, and so when she would slap it, just miss, and it just swipe hard. But this other girl, she kind of got some going on, if you know what I'm saying. Like she's developed further. She has boobies. So when the blonde girl goes for a slap, she misses and smacks the other girl's boobs. And Rafa, when I tell you I busted out laughing, like that was hilarious, because then what ensued was the girl that got slapped in her boobs got serious and put her index and middle finger up the other girl's nose, and the after image of her nose being flared out like big as hell, and just her being like in utter shock. It was just hilarious. Like the little subtle things that would happen in the show, or it was like the jokes and the parts where you're supposed to laugh. Like it I won't say all of them hit, but like some of them were like really, really hilarious in episode 2 and episode 3 too. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna continue watching this show, but for first 3 episodes, they weren't bad. It's not my favorite. It's nowhere near the bottom, but it's a nice happy in the middle. I think I'll tuck it there. It'll be a nice spot. But yeah, I don't see myself continuing watching the show. Oh, but also because there's like a ton of shows that I'm watching right now because of fall season and everything. But yeah, it was fairly all right. I won't say it's a bad show. I just don't think it's for me.
Do you like hate comedy? Is that it?
No, I don't hate comedy.
Do you hate laughing? Do you hate having a good time?
I enjoy having a good time. However, I've come to notice that it really takes, you know how like you only like the niche isekais?
Mm-hmm.
I think I like niche slice of lives. So like for example, the school girl slice of life where like it's in the zombie apocalypse, that anime, like I thought that was dope. And I have yet to continue watching. I think I like left off on like 6 or 7. So I have to finish, I think, the season. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is like I like niche slice of lives. Just like you like niche isekais. So I think that's where we're kind of in a similar boat, but obviously just different genres.
Okay. I guess I will leave it at that. And honestly, to me, it sounds like you just don't like funny anime. But
I mean, certain stuff is funny to me, right? But if it's like a comedy anime, I don't know. Actually, to be honest, I don't think I've actually like really dived too deep into comedy anime. But actually, speaking of just like anime swap in general, because I just thought about it. I remember Josue had mentioned in the last not episode 20, but episode 19 of the Bento Boxcast, he had mentioned something about like I believe it was a Korean K-drama that he wanted to recommend. So Josue,
that was last episode.
Oh, okay, that was last episode. So yeah, so Jay, if you do, if you want to still, if you could please like drop it down in the comments down below, and we'll definitely check out the K-drama and talk about it. And check it out as part of the anime swap and viewer suggested anime swap, which we do guys. So if you guys have anything that you guys want to kind of give us as a suggestion for anime swap, we'll gladly do it. We've done it before, so shout out Renegades, shout out Alex, and shout out John from Geek Jar, and then of course Jay has actually given us one before, so this K-drama is going to be something different as well. But that being said, it's finally time, Rafa, for us to give each other our new animes that we're going to be talking about. And kind of anime swapping. So I actually want to go first because this one is a fairly recent one that I watched, but it's One that kind of caught my attention a long time ago, but I finally got around to actually watching it. It is called Gleipnir. I don't know if you've watched it before.
It's called what?
Gleipnir. It's on Funimation. Gleipnir.
Yeah, no.
So, what it's so the synopsis of it is Suichi's secret superpowers force him to transform into a monster, and Claire's not afraid to climb inside whatever it is he has become. So here's the thing: the main character is a little nerdy boy, right? Who obviously is in high school, and he has his hormones are flaring, and obviously he finds this girl very attractive, right? But the thing is, he has superpowers, and that's crazy, right? Wow, how did this happen? You'll find out as you watch it. But his superpower is that he turns into this giant. So like when you think of Disneyland, there's people in like the Mickey Mouse costumes, and it's like the big ass thing where it's like he has the hat, the thing that you zip up, the costume. He has like the big mascot, big paws as shoes and things like that. Like he's huge, right? Like you can get into the costume.
Right.
He turns into a costume as a monster. And then he meets this girl who has like this agenda, this like she's not exactly the sweet girl that she appears, and she has like her own issues. And she crawls literally inside of him. And I guess to add to it, right? So he opens up like a costume. He has a giant zipper on his back. And normally you would think, okay, there's like fur or it's just like a regular costume. No, there's actually like organs and like fleshy flesh on the inside of his costume. And she crawls inside of it.
That's nasty.
Yep. And she like is inside him, and she fights and uses superpowers. And I think if I remember correctly, he has a gun. It's a really wacky, really odd anime. There's slight ecchi scenes here and there and things like that. And it's I'm telling you, it's a really wild anime. It's not for immature people, not for the younger crowd. It's definitely a TVMA anime, so be that what it will, there's my warning. But yeah, I definitely want to hear what you think of this one. Like I said, it is on Funimation. I'm not entirely sure if it's on Hulu, but I know for a fact it's on Funimation.
Okay, well, we shall see. The one that I have for you, I hope you like this one because it's actually a really good anime. It's called Arakawa Under the Bridge. Have you heard of the anime?
I believe I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
Great. Good. So, it's about this guy who ends up helping out this girl. Like, it's pretty much that he ends up, I don't want to say living, but like kind of hanging out under this bridge. Like, there's like a river under the bridge, and then there's just a bunch of wacky people that live under the bridge. Like there's this guy who he dresses up as a nun, and he's like super big and swole. Like, there's this guy who he's I don't know how to explain it, like a kappa. You know what a kappa is?
Yeah, I'm looking at the art style right now, or like the
Yeah,
it looks so weird.
it's a really I'm about to say it's a really funny show. It's a comedy, but also deals like with romance because like the guy he kind of him and the girl with the blonde hair they kind of like each other and stuff like that. But it's a really fun show. Like the characters are quirky and they're weird and like it's just a fun time. Just shenanigans. Hector, I love my shenanigans and my goofs and gaffs, and this show has a lot of that with some really fun, really out there characters.
I mean, I'm literally just looking at this and it looks so weird. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely going to be an interesting watch. It looks.
Like
yeah, it just looks like something I would never watch. So that's why I'm just like so confused. But I mean, obviously it's part of the anime swap.
There's 2 seasons and it's a fun watch. I really enjoyed this show. And I'm not really explaining much because that's kind of just the essence of the show right there. It's just this guy who, ends up hanging out under this bridge because of certain circumstances, and he ends up, sticking around because he ends up liking the girl with the blonde hair, and he ends up, kind of meeting all these other people who live under the bridge or like by the river, and they're all crazy and wacky and silly in their own like weird ass way, and you literally just watch it for the interactions between these characters. Like that's literally the whole point of the show. And it's just fun. It's just a fun show to watch.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, then we'll see. Obviously, next week how we both reacted to both of our anime swap suggestions. But alas, we have reached the conclusion of our pod. Episode 21, quite a doozy, quite a big one. Again, thank you so much for all the love on episode 19 and episode 20 of the previous, Bento Boxcast episodes. I'm pretty sure, I hope, I'm crossing my fingers that this one gets equal amount of love as well. And hopefully you guys that are listening that are from episode 19, from episode 20, hopefully, you guys kind of get that itch, get that feel, get that love in your hearts to like, to share, and of course to subscribe to the channel. It would greatly be appreciated and help us out. I mean, we just love all the love that we're getting. So hopefully we can continue to get, even more love, just to be even greedier because we love making this content. It's fun. It's a good time. And, Rafa, do you have any final shout outs, anything you want to say before we kind of close it out?
Just really quickly, shout out to Geek Jar 3000, the Playing Pod, the podcast and channel that I'm with over there with Alex and John, my best friends. Shout out to, we said it already. Shout out to Josue, to Pedro, everybody who comments. Shout out to all you guys. Always love to see you guys in the comment section. And just like what Hector said, man, thank you all you guys who are listening to us, who are checking out our videos, checking out the podcast. If you enjoy what you listen to, man, hit up that like. Let us know. Give us that feedback that you guys enjoy it. That's it, man. That's all I gotta say for now.
Oh my God, yeah. Like you said, we appreciate all the love and everything, and definitely go check out those guys at Geekjar 3000, as well as check out this incredible shirt company, guys. It's called 3UP Prince. You can check them out at 3upprince.com. They have a very spooky, very Halloween-themed apparel drop that's going out right now, and it's very, very cool. The merch there is fantastic. Definitely check those guys out. They make some high quality, some fantastic shirts, sweaters, things like that. You definitely want to go check them out. I can't wait to get mine. I ordered mine. Actually, I will be ordering mine soon. By the time this comes out, I will have already ordered it, so I'm very, very excited for all that. And yeah, guys, just to kind of end it off, guys, you can find us on allanchor.com platforms. All right, so the Spotify, the Apple Podcast, anything that is associated with Anchor, as well as of course YouTube. And like I said before, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us at Bento Boxcast on Twitter. And lastly, but of course not least, join the Discord, guys. We want all you guys to be in there. We can talk to you guys about anime, about manga, about anything you guys want to talk about. And I think that's about it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Oh, I actually have. Don't forget to follow myself and Rafa if you want to communicate with us. If you want to kind of throw suggestions at us on Twitter, which is ultra_vman, and me talk anime. And lastly, I do stream on Twitch, kind of maybe considering doing YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. But I do stream on Twitch at ultra_vman. Come check me out. I've been streaming quite a bit lately and kind of dropping some fire gameplay. Not all the time, but so, here and there. So definitely go check that guys out. I would greatly appreciate all the love again. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, whatever it is, whatever time you're listening to this. Rafa, did I forget anything, Rafa? I think that's about it.
No, man, I think you got it all.
Oh my God. Check, and check. We'll catch you guys on the absolute fantastic, most animeest podcast of all the time on the next one, guys. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.